All right, man. Well, I don't really have a formal intro, so we'll just kind of jump into it here. Guys, I got Mark Falcon, right? Falcon,
Yep.
Owner of Loyal Plumbing,
Yes, sir.
which probably the most marketed plumbing company here, probably
Well, I appreciate
more
it.
than I've seen, anyways.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I
Appreciate
you don't see many plumbing companies in the market. I don't think.
Sure.
Maybe it's one thing that the industry lacks at, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
We were talking before this a little bit. Mark and I have never met in person. I feel like you've messaged me on Instagram a couple times and stuff, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then on social media or whatnot. But anyways, tell us kind of how you got to where you're at now and owning Loyal Plumbing. What took you into plumbing and owning your own business?
Yeah, so I started. I grew up here in Rapid.
Yep.
Did high school here at Stevens and all that, and then when I was about 18, I'm like, I need to get out of this place. There's nothing to do.
Out of Rapid?
Yeah, out of Rapid. I was partying.
That's what everybody says.
Yeah, and
I hate this town.
That was a mess. So I'm like, I'm getting out of here, and I thought I'd go to college. I wanted to be a surgeon, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I have some family. My brother's a veterinarian. Some of my family is in the medical field and stuff like that. So I thought I'd give a shot and go to college and become a surgeon is what I was hoping, and that's what I'd planned on for a few years. But I started getting a taste of what college was like, and having to sit through long classes and all that kind of stuff. And at the same time, I was working at Lowe's and Home Depot.
Okay.
And they put me in the plumbing department.
Huh.
So I was pretty upset because I just wanted to coast along and not learn anything about the job. I was in like building materials or whatever, so I was just moving concrete bags and all that. It was really easy, but then they moved me to plumbing.
So you had to know what you were talking about?
Yeah, so people are coming in and asking me about this and that, and I'm like, toilet? I don't know I have no idea what you're talking about right now. But
how old were you at this time?
I was 18.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm learning these parts, and one of the guys that worked there was a career plumber that had just like retired, and he had a little side gig going on, and he was still working at Lowe's. And he noticed, he started showing me how to like thread pipe. You cut it, and then you thread it so you can install it, and we do that for customers. And he showed me how to do it, and noticed that not that I had a knack for it, but that I kind of got into it. It was fun. It was like a time kind of thing, and it was fun. So he started having me come out and do job sites with him on the weekends and all that. And the first time I went out with him, I kind of made up my mind that this was something I want to do, because he paid me like $500 for like 4 hours worth of work.
You were like, holy crap.
Yeah. I put together like 2 toilets, and I don't even remember. It was really easy. But it was just, especially out in I was out in Los Angeles.
So you could charge more out there, I'm sure.
Their prices are way high. So that was this is not all about money, but it was like, I can get paid for this. And before that, it was just.
Because that's like what? That's like a full week of work. At Lowe's.
Well, that's exactly. It was like, what am I doing? One day versus a whole week.
Right.
And I don't have to sit through the.
Not even a full day. It's only 4 hours, right?
Half day. Yeah. So, and he would send me to like emergency calls where, and I really liked it. I mean, it sounds crazy, but like clogged toilets where the whole restaurant was shut down because and it was like an emergency type of situation. I liked it a lot. So, but I couldn't even make sense of what was happening because it was so different than what I had been brought up to understand was like the path for my life. You know what I mean? Like, you go to. I thought that it was you go to school, you try to get the best grades that you can, you go to college, and then you go and work. Yeah. And I had no idea that there were people out there that were building things with their hands and, just like, doing trade stuff. So it was pretty cool. And I'm lucky that I fell into it,
I think it's like one of the most underrated things in America is the trades,
Totally.
Because I know just from like watching it and hearing people talk and whatnot, I feel like you can do way better in trades than almost any career you get from a degree.
Sure.
You can make 10 times what a doctor makes, really, if you wanted to.
Yeah.
If you wanted to grow that big.
Yep. Yeah, it's even today, I mean,
but it's manual labor. That's the thing.
It's hard. It's hard work.
Yeah.
Especially like plumbing, you're in trenches and you're digging, and it's, it wears a guy out pretty quick.
Right.
Especially out here. In California, the pipes are like 12 inches deep, 3 feet deep. Out here, they're like 10, 15 feet deep. So
why?
Freezing.
Okay.
The temperature differences and stuff. So, but you look across the board. The big thing with me too is deciding to do a trade like plumbing.
Yeah.
A lot of it was fear-based too. Is like, what can I do? I don't know what I want to do.
Yeah.
I don't know what I want to do. The school thing, I want to be the surgeon, but I hate the school part of it. I'm tired. What can I do that's going to be like guaranteed? And I said, well, let me do this plumbing thing because people have to use the bathroom.
Yeah.
They have to be able to
plumbing is one of the things I think, there's not much that could threaten that industry. Unless they come out some dank robots that can come through and just change all the plumbing.
I think about it a lot. Like there'll be some kind of a laser. I don't know, something.
It's going to be a while for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be a while. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're now they have faucets that you can talk to and toilets that you can talk to and all this stuff that it's crazy, but it still doesn't take away from the fact that
there's plumbing underneath.
There's water in and then waste out. Yeah. No matter where you go.
Totally.
The city requires that every municipality requires.
Unless they created some indestructible piping that was 100% indestructible and self-cleaning.
Yeah.
Then I don't think you're going to be out of a job for a while.
Yeah, they won't do that because then they in their deal too, like the piping companies. Why would you make? I mean, that's a whole different
something indestructible.
Yeah. It's just like anything else. So it seems like parts and all that kind of stuff they go down. They're cheaper. They're worse.
Yeah.
And it keeps,
they want them to deteriorate so they can replace them.
Exactly. Right? Yeah. Dishwashers and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, dishwashers are horrible now. Honestly.
Yeah, you get like 2 years out of them.
Max. Yeah.
So that's pretty much it. We when I was out in LA, I was doing that stuff. I still didn't really 100% sign on to plumbing because it was still like this yucky, this nasty job, whatever. New construction, even, it was just like, I don't want to be out in the field all day long. I started doing a lot of like stand up and acting, like
That's
improv
awesome.
and stuff. So that helped in my career a lot. But
help your people skills.
Yeah. And it was fun. It was definitely really cool, and got to. It's helped on being able to talk to people about the advantages and the job opportunities and stuff like that. So that was good. And then me and my wife moved back here and pretty much worked, got to learn what it's like to do plumbing and be in the trades in a tundra or in a frozen climate a lot of the time, and how different that is than being out by the beach where everything's nice and there's no weather. Yeah. And then we started Loyal basically out of necessity. I actually got on the fire department here in Rapid City.
Okay. Yeah.
So when I was trying to get on there, I didn't have enough time to go to school. I went back to school to get a fire science degree. I did everything I could to get on because I did try one time and they said no. Yeah. I had no experience or anything, so I said I need to get my EMT. I quit the company that I was at and went to fire science. Yeah. Completed the fire science and then got on the volunteer department and did all of that to get on the fire department. I got on, and the company, I hired one person, and the company just exploded after that. Wow. Which I did not anticipate. I thought I would just...
Why? Why do you think that happened?
I think a couple of reasons. Number one is that our problem in this area is not the workload. It's the workers. It's having the people to do it. Yeah. So if you position yourself right with, I think, a lot of different markets, you'll be successful right now because it's population versus supply and demand. Totally. You know, but I think our company has done well just because the guys that we've hired and the guys that are, they're not even really. I don't even look at them as employees. I look at them as being on a team with me. I always have. Yeah. Because they had to run the company when I was like completely unavailable, at the fire department. Yeah. They have the mentality of I'm here to serve. You know what I mean? Which is a really, it's different, especially with the supply and demand. You can take it one way or the other. You can say I'm so busy that I don't need your work and I don't care.
That's how a lot of people treat it here. To be honest with you,
that's what
it really pisses me off.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. It's hard because even like myself, I've been in the trades for 15 years. you think I would know the right people around town to get stuff done, but even in my own house, I've had issues like trying to remodel. I've gone through, 4 or 5 different contractors trying to get stuff done, and that's where I really look at our guys, and I'm so grateful, and I respect them so much that they don't they don't back away from anything. If you have a problem, they want to go over and fix it.
Yeah.
So we got a guy out right now. Dan, who's the service manager. I just got a call on the way over here. It's like 2:00 or it's 1:00 right now, and it's Friday, and he's getting ready to go home basically at 3 or 4, and they get a call for a preschool that has a broken sewer main, and now he's loading up and
going to go fix it, which will take him forever probably to get that fixed.
Hopefully not.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if it takes too long, I'm gonna have to go over there too. So but so it's
that's
just
cool.
Cool. Yeah.
No, I think it's almost. I can't even count how many times I've been told no by contractors here, because I always have worked at clients' houses and stuff like that, and dude, every freaking time they're like, "Yeah, no, we're good." I'm like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah.
Yeah, I just didn't expect that. I didn't expect that coming into this to be like, "No, we're good. We don't want any more work."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, that's freaking weird, dude."
It is.
It's or
different.
just literally, I've had people say, like, if something's not on a foundation, like a mobile home, you can tie it down and make it on a permanent foundation, right? In the eyes of the lender and stuff. And so I was trying to get it done recently, and I've never had more of a pain in the ass in my life, because I was asking all these people that are structural engineers or whatever, and they were saying, "Yeah, we could do it, but yeah, we're good." Like all of them were saying that to me, and I was like, "Really?" And one of them was like, "Maybe, call me in a week. I'll let you know how I'm feeling." That's what he said.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't wait that long, man.
I know.
To see how you're feeling. Anyways, only one guy. I called everybody. One guy would do it.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It is. It's crazy. And
I only call you guys now for plumbing, by the way.
I appreciate it.
My clients have stuff. Yeah, because you're the only ones that say yes to me. So
we'll keep saying yes.
Yeah.
No, the nice thing. So, I started in service plumbing. So you're unclogging toilets, you're fixing broken pipes, all this. And then I did a lot of new construction too, where you're building, which is really clean. But a lot of people around here with all the new construction, that the difference in mentality, I think it's like, I'm a plumber and I can go either way, but there's so much new construction and it's clean and the schedules are easier. I call my own shots, that kind of thing. So many of the plumbers and stuff, it's not that we're better than anybody, but we're just in a different market. They're in a market that is not held as accountable, only because Google will ruin us. You know what I mean?
Totally.
We have to take care of people, and we want to, but we have to too. Mm-hmm. If I said no to you, you can go write a 1-star review. And I don't know about you, but it's a lot of times when I look at people's reviews, I go and check there's 5,000 5-stars, and I'll go look at the
3 1-stars.
3 1-stars and be like, what happened? What happened there? And most of the time,
to be honest, I think I'm in the minority here. I never check reviews on anything.
No,
never. I've never once.
Go find out for yourself.
I can't remember once when I've checked a review. I know that sounds weird, but I'm not that person.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe I should. Maybe it would save me some heartache, but I really never do. I know it's weird. I know everybody does though.
Yeah.
I know everybody does.
It's a big thing.
I just don't. So.
Yeah, it's.
I know for my business, I really care about them.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I know whenever I'm a consumer, I don't care, which is weird. But
sure.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. There's you look at the coronavirus and how all this stuff is. It's you want to.
It'll be interesting to see what happens with all this, man.
Yeah.
Really will.
It's pointed out to me. It's pointed out so much of, not how gullible people are, but just how quickly we react and follow in a certain pattern. You know what I mean? And it's pretty easy to influence one way or another. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I never thought during a panic like this that the number one fear for people would be, man, what if I can't wipe my ass? That never crossed my mind. I was like, man, I guess it's something to worry about, but just not the first thing that crossed my mind, Like the one thing that's sold out is toilet paper. It's weird. Yeah. But no, I think probably the best thing I've heard on all this, and I try to keep my head very even keel about all this kind of stuff. I don't freak out. I don't over freak out, and I don't over simplify things.
Sure.
But Joe Rogan had a podcast recently with a guy that's an infectious disease expert that wrote a book in 2017 that basically said this was going to happen.
Really?
Yeah, it's really interesting. It's an hour and a half, which is a short podcast for him. Hour and a half, and he just lays out all the facts and just kind of tells you what to do to prepare for it. I think he said that 98 million people will be infected by it, and then around 500,000 will die from it.
Yeah.
And he's talking about the majority of the people that are at risk of dying are people with compromised immune systems over a certain age. I don't remember the actual numbers, but he said, 98 million people getting infected is a ton.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's horrible. It's like 10 times worse than the flu.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how it all pans out. But I'm like, he also said this in there. He said, everybody buying face masks and washing your hands and stuff. He said it's not going to help.
Oh,
not
really?
Getting it. Yeah, he said the only thing that would help you not getting it is not breathing.
We can't like, do that.
Yeah, and he just explained that he was like, the only things you can do are strengthen your immune system, stay indoors, as much as possible, stay out of big crowds, things like that. He's like, but you're not gonna be able to minimize it totally. He said it's gonna go completely crazy whenever they reopen up everybody in China.
Yeah.
He said everybody's gonna get infected then.
Sure.
He's like, we're just delaying it, and he said this was a few days ago that he put it out. He said, I hope in America we don't start closing schools.
And it's happening.
And it's already happening today.
It's happened here.
Today
yeah.
they just announced, Monday, right? They're closing the schools down.
Yeah.
He said really what it's going to do. He talked about why is it's going to put a strain on hospitals because nurses' kids, which nurses are going to be the biggest thing we need right now.
Yeah.
Nurses' kids are now not in daycare pretty
They're
much
home.
all day. Yeah. And what are they going to do with them? Who's going to watch the kids? Or they're not going to be able to go to work.
Yep.
And I was like, dang, yeah, that's true. And I was like, man, I hope that didn't happen. Then boom, everywhere closing schools down.
Yep.
I just wonder how long we're going to keep it up.
I know.
Before we just
6 months, a year, who knows?
And he also said that people that are being optimistic about 6 months to a year vaccine, he said it'll be 2 to 3 years minimum.
Sure.
He's like, everybody just being optimistic.
I know, that'd be nice if we could get it. That's what I think. That's what I was thinking. Actually, driving over here too is what's going to happen, or what happened before technology.
Yeah.
Things like this probably did happen, and maybe they didn't spread across the world as quickly or whatever. But
because they'd have planes. And stuff.
What did we do, or what happened when it wasn't a known thing that was going on. People were getting sick and they were dying, and it was just like, oh.
And the shamans came out and prayed over them or whatever back then.
Yeah. I get that it was a different time. Now medicine's better and all this stuff, but people died, and they died, and a lot of like in this case too, it's we don't want our elderly people to die necessarily, but those are the ones that are dying. And back then it would have just been like, oh, they were old, they got sick, and they
probably wouldn't even know.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, I guess if all their elderly died at once, they'd be like, oh my gosh, something's happening.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I wonder if it was funny to me when he said that the only thing you can do to stop it is not breathe. I was like, that's pretty brutal, dude, because everybody's buying all this hand sanitizer and stuff. And he's like, it's not going to help. He also said those face masks, they don't filter stuff that you're breathing. Yeah. They help so you don't infect other people. That's all they're for.
Okay.
He said the only way there's a certain mask that you can get, and they're in high shortage right now.
Yeah.
It has a seal around the face, so no air can get in.
Yeah.
He was like, that's the only thing that would protect you from that if you wore those. It has I forgot the name for it, but it has a seal on it.
Yeah.
And they're in massive shortage for hospitals right now.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a lot.
It's weird how ill prepared we are, isn't it, for all this stuff? You would think America's got their stuff together, but I'm like, man, we just feel like we don't really know how to handle it fully.
I know. We just never think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's never crossed my mind, honestly.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out for sure.
Yeah.
Because it's in China it was almost a 4% death rate, which is pretty freaking high.
That's a lot.
Yeah. But they said they think it'll be around 2 in America, which is still pretty damn high.
Yeah.
Yeah. You think if 1 million people get it, it's 200,000 people.
That's a lot.
That's crazy.
A ton of people.
Yeah.
Doubling every day.
Yeah.
So no, I don't know. I'm hopeful, and I'm definitely hopeful in our community. You know what I mean?
Me too.
I think I don't know that we've got ahead.
We just had someone die from it here.
Yeah.
I was like, holy crap, that's crazy.
Mitchell or something like that, or
Pennington County.
Was it? Well, they're from here, right? Or
I don't know. I just saw Pennington County.
Yeah.
Everything's so kind of vague.
I know.
So
the reporting and all that stuff.
I'm trying to get somebody from regional or the government to get on the podcast and talk about it, to try to ease everybody a little bit and tell them what to do.
There's a lot of them out there. I get to talk from being on the fire department.
Yeah.
I have a lot of friends that are either nurses or they're on the fire department, so they get all the briefings and all that stuff. And it's interesting to hear what they have to say about it. I think it's a general consensus across the board is like, be careful, you know.
Right.
There's it seems like there's a lot that's unknown.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we'll find out, but yeah, I don't know. I'm hopeful that it's going to be less than we think it is.
Yeah,
you
me
know
too.
what I mean?
Yeah.
I remember, I know they're pointing it out a lot, but I remember like SARS and West Nile and all this other stuff, where I remember like West Nile playing baseball. I was like in ponies or post 22 or something like that. And I mean, I was all freaked out about getting hit by mosquitoes.
Yeah.
We were all scared and we were spraying each other, you know. And nothing ever happened, you know.
Right.
Hardly anything happened.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I mean, the way I kind of look at it is hope for the best, plan for the worst.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
So maybe they're, you know, obviously the government officials and stuff know more than we do.
Yeah.
You know, about this whole thing. We're just speculating, but yeah, I mean, I'm hopeful that everybody knows what they're doing. Hopefully, and I just don't personally get the fact that containing stuff would do anything but delay it.
Sure.
You know.
The one interesting thing for us in the plumbing world is that, like, the mayor even has come out and said, you know, stop buying all this water.
Yeah.
We're going to keep, like, water and sewer are going to continue happening. And so we had a meeting this morning about it with our company. Like, you guys, like this, all the jokes, all the speculation, all this stuff, we don't want to, you know, get freaked out about it. But at the same time, you literally might be one of the last people working, just because our job is
going.
Yeah, we have to keep. Our job is to keep people healthy, you know what I mean, and to protect them from disease. And no, we're not the hazmat team from the fire department, but if your toilet is backing up and overflowing your house, or you can't wash, you know what I mean, that
Totally.
the illness and all that stuff is there for you. So we had to buy some equipment. I mean, very minimal, just because, like you're saying, we've learned that there's not a lot that you can do.
Yeah.
Besides washing your hands, like soap and water, and then just staying away from people, you know,
big crowds or whatever.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens, but we're getting ready for it.
Yeah. How do you, I mean, you see it affecting, the only thing that would affect in plumbing, I guess, is you guys do have to get out there. I guess you don't have to. Yeah. But, you know. Yeah, you guys are kind of on the front lines. I didn't think about it that way, but you kind of are. Yeah.
Well, when you look at, so I really get like nerdy on it, but some of the first civilizations, like the difference between third world countries and first world and all, is literally plumbing. Yeah. And it's, I always feel like weird when I say that, because it's not just plumbing.
It's electricity too.
Yeah, it's a lot of different. But plumbing, like from the Romans, you know, was like with the aqueducts and just the system.
They were pretty genius with it all.
Absolutely, and it was what helped them to stay healthy enough
and not die
to live long. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
you know, they actually did that in battle too. They built that kind of stuff. Did you know that?
No.
So there's a fascinating podcast called oh my gosh, I just lost it. Hardcore History. Fascinating. And he talks about the Gallic War with the Romans. He talks about how they are you a history nerd too?
No.
A little bit? Okay. I am big time. So what they would do with plumbing and stuff, though, is as they were going, the reason the Romans like crushed everybody is they would travel for like 20 hours, right? And then they would stop, and they could build a fortress in a matter of 10 hours.
That's awesome.
And they take it down every time they left. So they put it all up. It had guard posts, it had catapults, it had walls, it had plumbing.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and they could put it up in like 10 hours.
That's awesome.
Yeah, for their whole entire crew. And that's why they would crush everybody. Because they would like be fortified, and if someone tried to attack them and didn't know, they would destroy them. Because they had this fortified position, and these people are just out in the field. You know? It's crazy.
Staying healthy.
Yeah. It's crazy.
That's really cool.
Had plumbing. That. It's like, what? You know?
Yeah. And heat, you know, like everything that it takes just to stay not sick, to keep your immune system going good. And we've made so many advancements, but at the end of the day, it's all pretty basic stuff.
What's the highest risk for, like, for example, I have a really old house built in 1937, and some of the plumbing's really old in it.
Yeah.
What risks do you have with that kind of stuff?
As far as health or just
health risk?
Health risk is always going to be the sewer related type stuff.
Okay.
Obviously there's always a health risk with water, but water is city regulated for the most part. And even though a lot of people don't know this, but it passes through underground pipes that some of them are hundreds of years old. Yeah. Asbestos, concrete, whatever, that they put together. I've seen wooden pipes, not in this area, but I've seen it before. Just crazy. But funny. Whatever they could find, whatever they were using that was cheap at that time
and available.
It was available, So water is, but water's regulated with like chlorine
Right.
and, you know, different stuff that it kills those bacteria and all the
that it's gonna get going through everything.
But then that's, you know, then the other argument is like chlorine's bad. Yeah, fluoride's bad.
Yeah.
Whatever. But sewage is obviously like the most disgusting thing that we deal with.
Right.
Gas is deadly if there's leaks, but it's the thing about sewage is it's more of like a creepy, unknown building in your walls, causing mold spore type. You know what I mean? It never pops. You know what I mean? For the most
slowly.
part. Yeah. So some people, they're lucky enough, which it sounds crazy, but they'll have like a major backup and they'll find out, okay, I have a plumbing problem.
Gotcha.
But a lot of people, and we don't take it as serious as I think we probably should in this community, but definitely like a toilet that isn't set right. You know, people hire handymen and all this kind of stuff to do that, and some of them are good and they can do it. But even just having a toilet that's not set right, if it's leaking at all, literally all that waste is just going into your subfloor, rotting it out, molding. You know what I mean? And then you can.
So what can you do to prevent that kind of stuff? I mean, obviously, toilet, just have a professional do it.
Yeah, it's, you know what? At the end of the day, I think it really just comes down to licensed professionals. Like you know, I always talk about medical. Like, I would never. Well, actually, I shouldn't say this because my brother has put stitches in my head before. But I would never go to the veterinarian for like my health care, and that might even be a bad.
No, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, you know what I mean. I just don't. Yeah. I don't go to Arby's to like change my tires.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, or whatever, my brakes. It's all the same thing.
Yeah.
And I know that the trades, it's easy to like, because of Home Depot, because of Lowe's, because of all the like the availability for you to go home and do those things on your own. Sometimes it makes it easier for you to then hire people that are cheaper or whatever to do things that are, you know, pretty important that way. So.
Give me 1 sec. I got to reset this real quick.
Nice.
Okay, continue.
Yeah. Where were we at?
You were talking about how, you know, people think going to Home Depot and stuff, they can just do it themselves.
Yeah, it's done.
Or hire someone cheaper.
It's done a little bit of a disservice, and I get there's some things. I think paint. You know, I don't want to dumb down anybody's trades. I love it. I mean, there's craftsmen of their trade, but you can go and buy a can of paint and like. Get the roll. I've done it. I'm terrible at it. I hate it.
Yeah, me too.
But like, you could paint this office, and it wouldn't be like a health risk to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I wouldn't build the walls because they could fall down and kill you.
Yeah.
There are some things that you just should not do.
Yeah.
And I'm not even going to get on the soapbox about like, you know, people advertising, you know, for that they can do this and that. But just to know, just for people, if they want to feel safe and feel right, just know that there's professionals out there, and you know who they are. Don't be afraid by, you know, the money or anything like that. You know, go for people that are licensed, all that kind of. You know what I mean?
Totally, I agree.
So,
especially plumbing and electrical.
Absolutely,
especially those two. Obviously, structural as well.
Absolutely,
but those three things are like the definites.
Yeah, and there are things in plumbing that you can totally do yourself.
Yeah.
You know,
like put a different sink on.
Yeah. Just easy stuff, whatever. You know, you're going to know, but at the end of the day, they're all, anything that has water running through it, I think, or electricity. Yeah. Definitely it's a good deal to get a professional.
And it's not, I think people forget that it's not that expensive.
No.
Like for little stuff.
No.
You know, it's not like you're going to spend thousands of dollars on fixing the pipes. You
know
what I mean?
We had this year. I really have been pushing this. I've been pushing for workforce development and guys to get licensed and guys to be knowledgeable, because we had a situation where in 15 years of plumbing, we had a guy that he hooked up somebody's faucet and forgot to tighten down one of the nuts, and they turned everything on, tested it, and they left. And at that time when they were there, it wasn't leaking, but all of a sudden it popped and it flooded this person's house, right? And I've never had that happen in 15 years. I've never had anything even close to that. Yeah. But this guy, he still works for us. He's a great plumber. He just made a mistake, you know, and it happens. But at the end of the day, if it was like $80 an hour, you know, versus the 40 or 35 or 25 or whatever, 55, 65, we were able to cover that job 100% and put it back. I mean, that person ended up basically getting a free remodel out of the situation. You know what I mean? Yeah. So insurance companies, they recognize it. They're like, this is a professional. I'm going to charge them a huge amount of money to insure them, because if they mess up, it's like, again, medical type
to insure
of thing.
You guys, you mean?
Yeah, to insure us, but we're insuring you too.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So just professionals across the board. I just think about the any time that I've ever needed any kind of help, I look at situations like that, and I'm like, I want the best person to help me. You know what I mean?
Totally. Yeah, I agree.
So yeah.
So what do you think? What do you think the future is for you guys here?
Our big call to in Loyal to this community is just to continue to grow leaders in our market.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So we start out with like a helper, and then you move to an apprentice, and then you move to a journeyman, and then you move to a project manager, and then a foreman, and then a project manager. And we really, we're working on programs to actually get guys into their contractor's license, even promote them to have their own business and stuff like that.
Awesome.
I don't think that, from my own perspective, I don't know that it's always the most beneficial for guys, because once you become a contractor, then like you don't have one boss, you have like
a bunch.
4,000.
Yeah.
So I don't know that. I think once guys really get to the top of it, they're happy and they're like, this is where I want to be.
Yeah. How many guys do you have working on it with you now?
Right now we have 22.
That's awesome.
And like literally 2 or 3 years ago we had 2.
That's awesome.
So it's just, like I said, Rapid is great.
So you must have been doing my parents' house like right as you started.
It was me. Yeah, it was just me.
You.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was, and that was a hard job. And
that probably was a hard job.
But it's stuff like that where it's like we bring these guys, and you really get a chance to make your mark and to create a career, like, you know what I mean, to make a huge impact on, like, I know your parents got their plumbing done.
Yep.
But everyone that was there helping was at some point in their career. Some of them were journeymen. One of them was better than I am at plumbing. But everyone was building, and everyone was doing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what our company is really strong about, is just like training, learning, professionalism,
Yeah.
So
what do you see the vision for yourself for the future?
Right now I'm really stepping into the business owner, and really kind of understanding that, I'm a plumber. I know how to do plumbing, but my big call, and the reason why I like reach out to you, and I reach out to a lot of guys in town, is because I've got that entrepreneur spirit,
Totally. Yeah.
So
you want to be around other guys like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I just a little bit of it is accepting that too, because I think I was talking about this yesterday at BNI. I went down there and did a presentation, but it's like everyone in this room could switch careers right now, and I guarantee that you would be successful in what you're doing, because it's like, yes, you like history, and I do like plumbing, but I also like this, and I also like this, and when you have that entrepreneur in you, you just pick something, and then you just create and make it happen. So
like, to be honest, I think my industry, real estate, they're so full of shit. Most people, it's insane, but they really are. But everybody always says stuff like, I see new agents all the time, or even existing agents that say, I just have a passion for helping people.
Sure.
Or I have a passion for this. And I'm just like, really? Do you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh gosh, you're so passionate about helping people. That's why you decided to get in real estate. You could have gone and held special ed.
Sure.
You could have. There's so many things you could have done if that was your real passion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
And maybe I'm being a jerk for saying that, but let's be honest for a minute.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Most people are in real estate to make money.
Sure.
That's why they're doing it.
Yeah.
Right. I personally did it because, first off, real estate agents have a really bad rap. They say they're less trusted than used car salesmen on average.
Really?
Yep. Less trusted. Well, there's a lot of people that are in the industry and don't have a lot of training, and they try to sell something and they screw it up for somebody completely.
Sure.
And they're like, this guy's been lying to me this whole time because he's trying to get a commission check. Right?
Oh, yeah.
And there's a lot of that, because it's really hard. The average real estate agent only sells 1 to 2 houses a year.
Mm-hmm.
So how much do you learn? You learn that more than the average person, a little bit. But a lot of times, if you're only selling 1 to 2 houses a year and you don't have another job, you are freaking desperate.
Experience, yeah.
You're desperate, though. You're like, you need to do whatever you can to make a check. That's what you're thinking. So you'll lie to people, you'll cheat, you'll steal, whatever. They try to make it happen. People will, And so real estate's an interesting industry to me because of that. And anyways, back to why the reason I got into it. The main reason I got into it was to help kind of change that. I was like, man, go in an industry where it's hard to get a good reputation.
Sure.
It takes forever, and it takes a lot of people talking to, a lot of people doing business with. Get a good reputation. And I'm telling you what, dude, I never could have imagined how hard it would be.
Sure.
It is like the hardest thing I've ever done in my life.
I know.
It's crazy. Looking at it from the outside, you're like, oh, this guy's doing well. This guy's doing well. Sure. Oh, well, it takes me an average of 1,000 phone calls to get a client.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's like, how long can you keep that up before you get like burnt out? So I've been fortunate enough to where I like you said, I think no matter what I would go into, I'd figure out how to be good at it. It's kind of how I've always been that way. Like, okay, I'm going to figure out how to be the best I possibly can at this.
Sure.
So I've done really well. I mean, I'm way over the average. Last year I did about 30 houses.
Yeah,
which is awesome. If the average is 2 to 3, I did more than 10 times the average. So it's awesome. But for me, I'm just never satisfied with myself. So I'm like, come on, But it's not even about. For me, it switched from in the beginning. I was like, God, I just want to do more transactions, do more business. To when I started to do business, I was like, what the real key to this is? Being good at it.
Sure.
And like getting better, making it easier on the clients, making it more streamlined, giving them better information. So that's been more of my focus. The more I focused on the client experience, the client actually getting the best results possible, the bigger I've gotten. Yeah. So yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
No, that's been when I started, it was just me. It was like, I'm not paying for anything extra.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's what I did too.
Yeah. I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
And now it's like, what do we have to do to make this the best? And I have to tell you, I just sold my house with Jeremy, and I was so blown away by the process in this company that I literally I sit down at my on my kitchen table. We were sitting down and going over. He's like, this person does this. This person does this. This person. And I'm like, this is the best. This is amazing. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's streamlined. We put my house on, and literally less than 24 hours, we sold. We sold for like way more than I would have ever thought
you would have got.
And that's the market partially, but the way that all worked out, and it was I can see it from the very beginning that it was like, what can we do to make this streamline for this customer?
Totally. Yeah.
And I mean, we literally went back, and I'm like, I just had this experience. I want to model this in our own business, and we started dividing our roles because there was a lot of mixture and stuff.
Totally.
And it was like this part, like Avengers is what I related to. Like this, Iron Man does this, and
that's awesome.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of a stupid thing.
No, but that's true. Yeah. Everybody does kind of have to have the role. Yeah.
I know. I listened to some Gary Vee stuff, and he was talking about that too. That we, even as like just plumbers around here, like, we can't all do the same thing. Loyal Plumbing is more of we do the new construction. It's a good training ground.
Why do you call it Loyal? Just out of curiosity.
To be honest with you, it was a name that me and my buddy came up with in California. Okay. He actually came up with it, but I just loved. I love the name. Actually, was decided before the purpose came. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it wasn't like, well, I want to be the loyal plumber, I want to be Loyal Plumbing because we're loyal to you and we stick. Yep. It was just we picked the name because it sounded cool and it was a cool logo and all that kind of stuff.
It is a cool logo.
And then it's kind of like evolved from it. We found out that it was actually like the underlying thread that no matter what, at the end of the day, customers are satisfied and we're loyal to the cause. We're loyal to each other too as a team.
That's cool. Yeah.
So
anyway, sorry, I detracted when you were talking about setting up your kind of systems and talking about everybody in place.
Yeah, so that was a huge thing, but I think you hit it. And I mean, when you're, I feel like, to people that even want to be on a podcast or something like that, unless you're just getting interviewed for your craftsman or your trade or whatever, like your specialty, your artistic ability or something. I want to do it because I want to get to know people and I want to get to know how to serve better, and I want to get to know how to be more involved in the opportunities that that you can have and that I can have from the conversation. And it's that mindset, but it's the whole community too, bringing that together and making it happen. And it's exciting.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. The reason I started the podcast, honestly, was because I wanted to be focused around business owners, leaders, innovators in our area.
Sure.
And just overall cool people, I guess, that I like to talk to. But the reason I set it up is because you kind of have like, you got marketing. It's like you could put out a video ad. I put video ads all the time of, hey, I'm so-and-so, here's what I do. 30 seconds to 3 minutes, right? But nobody really knows any business owners.
Yeah.
When you come here and it's 30, 45 an hour, people start to get to know you a little bit.
Sure.
They know your quirks a little bit, know how you talk, know if you cuss like I do, that kind of stuff. And like get to know you on a more real level. And maybe they dislike you because of that, honestly.
Then they know.
Yeah, but then they know. And then honestly, majority of people though, like it because they're like, oh, he's a real person.
Yeah.
Or she's a real person. Or they're, what I mean?
Exactly. And that's what I want to get over, man, because I had a mind-blowing experience yesterday. I went and got my hair cut.
That's crazy.
That sounds stupid. Yeah.
That's mind-blowing, dude.
No, it's like because I'm so involved in, all I can think about is Google reviews and Facebook and what are they saying and what's that, and literally like I got what I felt like was, maybe it was a good haircut, I thought. I don't know what you think. But anyways,
you look pretty sexy to me, man. I like it.
But it was like the best experience that I've ever had getting my haircut at the man salon.
Okay.
And I can't remember the gal's name, but she had told me that she wrote a like 1-star negative. She's like, you look like somebody, and they figured it out so I could talk about it. But she's like, you look like Dr. Falcon, the veterinarian. And she's like, I had wrote a 1-star review, and I had this terrible experience. And I know my brother, like I think he's good at what he does.
Yeah. What does he do?
He's a veterinarian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's got all creatures. But it was so mind blowing to me that like if I would have known that she did that before, I might have held like some judgment.
You would have. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I
would have never had that experience.
I would have. Yeah.
So just stuff like that.
Hey, maybe you shouldn't read reviews, right? No,
yeah, exactly. I need to stay off of them.
Yeah.
That's why we hired a general manager.
Probably an addiction at this point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or an obsession, not addiction.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, that's a whole different. That's a whole different.
That's a whole other topic. Yeah.
That's all stuff, but that's what really drives me with like business building,
cool.
And even we do a little bit of real estate stuff, but when you're in those moments where I don't show up to work and get 9 to 5 and I get a check and I know how much and I budget every year, and, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like my life is like I don't know what it's going to look like tomorrow, and it pulls all those insecurities out.
Totally,
glaring.
Totally,
To where a lot
of
our guys will tell you. I mean, they were just saying yesterday they think I have a chemical imbalance because it's like, and I'm like, I know you think I do because it's like one day it's this way and it's like, oh wow, we just landed a new construction project and we'll be busy for 2 years, and then the next day it's like, oh, they didn't get funding for it. You know, it's just I love it.
You know, it's hard for me, that's not hard for me, but one thing I've tried to do is really detach my emotions from good or bad things.
Yeah.
Like especially, honestly, the biggest thing for me is really detaching from the good.
Absolutely.
What I mean is like when I get good news, I don't get excited.
Yep.
I do everything I can not to get excited because I'm like, okay. It just is what it is.
Yep.
It's good. It could be taken away in 5 seconds. I don't know. And when something's bad, I've noticed a lot of times there's something better coming right around. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah.
So detaching from either one, that's the same thing of like, I really don't care what people say about me as far as like if they think I'm doing well, if they think I'm doing bad, whatever. I care what people say about me because it's important to know what people are saying to me. But I don't care about negative stuff. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't bother me anymore.
Yep.
But I also don't care about positive stuff.
Sure.
I know that sounds weird, but
no, that's huge.
Yeah, I don't care if they're praising me. I don't listen to it either. Because I know there's so many things in my head that I'm like haven't even touched the surface of stuff I want to do yet. You know, and so I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever. Just keep moving forward, keep moving forward, keep doing better. You know,
you have to get there.
Yeah. And I've seen a lot of people get caught up in praise. You know, think they're awesome or whatever. And
it's easy to.
Yeah.
Especially if you get in with the right. This is a small town. It's, a lot of it is who you know or whatever, and it can be. And if you get something and then you put all your eggs in one basket and then next thing you know it's
gone.
But no, we were talking about your dad. I mean, look at his situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's crazy.
You never know. I mean, one day you're at the bottom and then next thing you know you're at the top, and 3 days later you're back at the bottom.
People always ask me like, dude, it must be nice to grow up a rich kid. And I'm like, dude, my parents didn't have money until I was gone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Wasn't a rich kid. You know, my parents were like scraping by until I was 18, basically. You know, not scraping by; they were lower middle class. But yeah, it's just like I don't know. There's such a perception. I don't like the perception around stuff too, though. Sure. You know, it's like, and it's hard to change people's perceptions. Yeah. You know, but no, he just. I mean, I saw every day what he did. You know, he grinded, quote unquote, and for whatever 22 years, and then finally got what he was going after. Yeah. You know, not many people have that much persistence. Yeah. You know, I don't know if I do. I don't know if I do. I don't know if I could scrape by for 20 years and keep the dream going in my head. Yeah. It'd be hard to do.
I know.
You know, and he was raising 4 kids in the middle of that. So it'd be stressful, dude.
No, they're tough. Know? I respect them big time. Yeah. I'll never forget when your mom inspired me. And
that's cool.
It's over the phone, but I'll never forget. You know.
Yeah. You remember what she said to you exactly, or no?
She basically was.
So what was the situation? What was
the situation? Was they were building the Sonic, and and I had bid it, and I had won. Okay. And then another contractor came in and got upset because he had already had the job or something. I don't even really know what happened, but. He was upset because he had already ordered some parts for it, and I just I was new and I'm overworked and I'm just whatever, and I was just you have it, you know. And I said they accepted that. They're like, okay, he says you can have it. I mean, it is what it is. But your mom called me and she's like, Mark, and I'm like,
sounds like my mom already.
Yeah, she's like. In life, you gotta fight for what you want. You cannot just keel over and let somebody take it from you. You need to fight for. And I can't tell you how many times I can hear her saying that to me.
That's cool.
Yeah, because you wanna. I have a lot of faith. I believe in God, and I believe that He's moved us through. And I when you ask about why Loyal's been successful, I believe it's God. But there's also this, so God's in control and He's going to make everything work out and all this, but you also have to fight.
Totally.
You know what I mean? And that's what I learned in that situation, that, the job is the job, whatever, but every situation, you can't just, you talk about failures and mistakes and all this kind of stuff. You don't just keel over and just give up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, totally, dude. And it's, that's cool, honestly. But, my mom was kind of feisty for sure. She does not she doesn't back down to shit, man, at all. Which is cool, and I think I got that part of that from her too, because I'm in the beginning of my career, I would totally back down to stuff, because it's intimidating or whatever, Yeah. And now I'm just is what it is, man. Yeah. You know what I mean? Sorry, I won't do it for less money, or no, I won't do that for free. Sure. It's not worth my time. Yeah. I have family to worry about myself. I can't just do stuff for free. Or I've had attorneys be like, hey, well, we'll do it. They're, attorneys are super confident. They're like, hey, you're going to do this for half price. And I go, and yet what I do now is perfect. Yep. Okay. I have a will I need written up. You're going to do it for half price. Yeah. You're going to do half price for me as well. Trade it up. I have a bunch of legal stuff I need done. You're going to do it for free. Yeah. And they're like, I'm like, what's up? Yeah. That's what you said to me. You know what I mean? Yeah. So what's the difference?
I know.
Yeah. Yeah. But no, I think standing up for yourself is big. And it also helps your confidence. Even if you lose the job. Yeah. You're like, you know what? I wasn't a little bitch in that scenario. Yep. Because you might be able to get the job for less and not made any money off of it, or made very little, and it really wouldn't be worth your time. And you're like, oh, but I would have got the job. And you're like, no, I'm sticking with my guns, and you don't get it, right? I've noticed most of the time for me, if I stick to my guns, I get it. Sure. You know what I mean? Because people appreciate that. Absolutely. They don't want to push over to work with. No. No. That's what they're almost looking for it. Yeah. They're probing for it. That's probably what they were looking for. They were like, yeah, I hope Mark just says no. I'm doing this. Yeah. Yeah. Have you read The Go-Giver? No. It's a good book. I'm not a reader, but that's the one that I kind of got me back. The Go-Giver? Yeah, Go-Giver. Okay. And it's about that. The story ends up, and I kind of I did the Audible. Yeah, that's what I did too. So I didn't listen to a ton, and then I caught up on the back end of it, and it was just the experience the opportunity that you don't take by compromising produces the opportunity that you never even dreamed possible. Yeah. And it's such a bigger opportunity for you. And that was what the story was about, is just staying true to who you are.
like knowing what you need to know and sticking to it, and then, you know, reaping the benefits of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I think that's awesome. That's exactly what you need to do.
Yeah.
Well, man, I got to wrap this up.
Yeah.
But thanks so much for doing this. Really appreciate it. How can anybody watching, if they have questions or maybe they need plumbing work done, how can they get in contact with you?
Always call the office, 939-0899. And then look out for on Facebook. If you like us on Facebook, we're doing a plumber in your pocket is what we call it.
Okay.
So we'll have a way that you can actually either FaceTime or get on the phone with a plumber directly if you have questions or whatever, just
That's
to
awesome.
kind of figure stuff out.
Plumbing in your pocket.
Yeah.
I like that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Thanks again, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
See you guys later. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this episode of the podcast. If you made it to this part of the video, that means you made it all the way through the podcast, and I really appreciate that. I would love for you to do me a favor, and if you're in the area, I would love for you to drop a comment, share this as well, and tell me who you think I should interview next, or who you would love to see on the podcast and learn more about. And I'll do my best to get them on the show. Or if you have a connection, get me in contact with them. We will get them on this podcast, guys. Thanks so much for watching. And lastly, the only way this podcast is even possible is through my personal real estate business. So if you know anybody that's looking at buying or selling or investing in the Black Hills area, please give me a call, shoot me a text, or shoot me a message here, direct message. You can get me on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all those platforms at Christian Morrison SD. The rest of my contact information will be in the description of this video. So thanks so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. We'll see you on the next episode.